One of the main reasons some people use Amazon S3 is to store their video files so when people watch them, the streaming videos will not bog down the rest of the website. In this video, you're going to learn a couple of different ways to add streaming videos to your blog and or website. It's easy now once you know how. Let's take a look. Now, there are several ways in which you can put a video on a web page or your blog. This is just one of several, and quite possibly one of the easier ways. And I've just got an image here, got a little bit of text describing what to do, and you simply, like it says, click on the image to view the video. Now, obviously, this is just an image that I picked out of my collection. What you might want to do is pick an image that is more representative of the video that people are about ready to watch. Unless, of course, this video is on Chow's, but it's not. So if we just click on the video or click on the image, the video then pops up in another tab or in another screen. Now, and then it's just ready to play. Now this is set to pause at start. We could adjust this so that it would automatically start playing. And again, there's reasons behind doing either or, but that's a little beyond the scope of this video. Now, if we kind of take a look at this, we can see how this is constructed, and you can see just what needs to be done. And the easiest way to do that is just to check out the page source. Now, this is using Firefox browser, so if you've got say Internet Explorer, you can get to the page source in a similar fashion, but I think it's over on this side under tools or something like that. I don't use Internet Explorer that much, but I think that's what it is. You go over here where it says tools and go to page view or source or something like that. But anyway, I'm a Firefox fan, so that's why I'm using this. You go to view, left click, come on down here to page source, or you can just hit the keyboard shortcut keys, hold the control button down, then press the letter U, and then we just left click on that, and this is the guts. This is the source code for that particular page, and it's basic HTML coding. Got your opening and closing HTML tags, your opening and closing head tags, and all the meta stuff in between, and just whatever title you want to give it. Then you got the opening and closing body tags, and in between that is what you saw on that page, and just basic HTML coding. This just tells the browser to show this thingy in the middle of the page, and here's the guts. This is the verbiage that I had up there. Click on the image to view the world's most awesome video, and this stuff here just tells you how that text should be viewed. The font style, the thickness of the font, in this case bold, and again this would just tell it to be telling your browser to center it. That's the P align center, and then this is the closing P tag, paragraph tag. And here again the P tag, this is the image location. I'm sorry, this is the image location right here. Image, and then the size of the image, and then within that image is a hyperlink, and that's this right here. That's the ahref tag, and this target equals blank. That just tells it to open it up in a different browser. If this were not here, then it would open up in place of that existing page. So this, I always do this just so that the viewer always has the original on their browser or their desktop somewhere, for whatever reason. Now, of course, there are instances whenever you wouldn't want that to happen, but for the most part, that's just how I roll. That's how I got it set up. But again, this is pretty basic, pretty simple, and this is to the S3 account right here that I have that video. Now then, what is this here? Again, this is the .html. Let me just show you. If we go to the S3 Firefox, and this is the folder that is contained in, so let's open this up. And inside of that folder, depending upon how your video is rendered, if it's an AVI, an FLV, MP4, SWF, you may have a lot more of these files in that video folder to make that video play, or you may not. You may, like for example, have an AVI only have two, the HTML and the actual AVI. Actually, you'd have three, the HTML and some kind of a controller or SWF object, or I forget now because I don't use it very often. I just use a strict AVI. But anyway, in this case, this is an MP4, a flash video that has some pretty high def stuff. I mean, it's pretty solid. It's small in file size for the most part, and I think it's a lot better quality than your SWF, your Shockwave, or your FLV. But that's just personal preference. In this case, what I did was I just went here under the .html. You see the extensions here of all of these. You just right click, come on down here and left click on copy URL to clipboard, and that's where I got that from. And if I open up another text document, I'll show you right here. If I just paste that in here, you see right here is the URL that this one here, page source. And you can see right here it is the S3 Amazon AWS and the Amazon S3-intro.html. Amazon S3-intro.html. That's the URL. So basically what I did was I put together an image. I used Front Page or Dreamweaver, whatever. Just made a table, and inside of that table I put some text. Below the text I put an image. I made that image hyperlink to that Amazon S3 file. So it's really that simple. And to make another way, because sometimes you may want to actually embed the video onto your blog. This is again one way to do it, but you might see it looking, maybe you just want this to show up on your blog. So when somebody comes by your blog, they see this, and the only thing they got to click on is this here to get the video to start playing. Or maybe as soon as they open up your web page or your blog, the video starts playing. How you can do that, it's pretty simple. Most of the time, whenever you have the videos set up like this, you come on up here just like we did before. You come to page source, check out all the goodies there, scroll on down, and usually right about the bottom you'll have this right here. Pretty simple. They've already done all the work for you. All you need to do is just copy from the beginning div opening tag to the closing div tag, and inside of there you got the object, and inside of there you got the embed, because Internet Explorer has a little bit of an issue sometimes with the object tag. It needs that old embed tag. So with both of them in there, the way this is set up, 99% of the time it's going to work on both Internet Explorer and Firefox. So we just highlight this, right click, copy this. We're going to put this on a blank text document. Let's go ahead and bring this down just a tad bit and put it on here. Going to paste it in here. Now then, what we want to do is we want to simply put this on your blog or your web page. However, it's not going to work in its state right now, because what we need to do is we need to reference this and this. This is what your this is what all this stuff here is pointing to pull that video in, to make the video play. However, this is not your video, and we need the absolute URL here. The rest of the stuff you can leave alone, and I'll show you about this here in just a second. But what we need to do now is we need to get that other code, not this one here, okay, not the HTML, but we need to get the actual file for the video itself. And that is, go back to S3 Organizer, and that's this guy right here. And usually it's going to be the biggest one in the file size, okay? Because all these others here make this guy play in your browser. And this is the .mp4. Now you may also see a .swf or a .flv, .mov, .avi, but in this case we're looking at the .mp4. And this is the one we want. We just select that, right click, copy URL to clipboard, just as we did before with the .html. And then we come on back here to our text document, and we simply replace this with that. And we got two spots for it. And if you're wondering, well, how the heck did I know that? Well, I just know it, but it's right after source value equals. Source equals, because this is the source of the video. That's how I look at it anyway, and paste it in there. Now then, just kind of go over a couple of these other things here. Auto start, right now it's on false. So if you put this on true, then it will auto start, because right now it's pausing whenever you want it to start. That's why it's not auto start, if that makes sense. Anyway, if you made this true, just play around with this stuff. If you made this true, then it will start automatically. Auto start, true. Auto start, false. So if it's auto start true, that means it's going to auto start. I think you got the picture now. And here you can adjust the sizes. If, say for example, your blog has a space for only 320 by 240, you want to keep these in their aspect ratio. You don't want to make them all look squishy or flattened. To keep the video image looking proper, you want to have this divided by 2 and that divided by 2, and that would work out just fine and dandy. And let me see here, what else we got? Oh yeah, and if you do decide to do the auto false or the auto start go to false, you got two spots for that as well, up here and down here where it says auto start. And if you're not sure, then you can just do an edit, find next, and then type in auto start equals, and it'll show you everywhere on the screen where that auto start equals is, and you just change it to true from false or vice versa. So now that we got this going, let's go ahead and copy this. Actually, why don't we just delete that top one? Get rid of this because you don't need that in here. That'll screw things up. We're just going to save this to our desktop. Save as. And this being a text document, we want to show all files. We want to name this test. How about test video.htm or .html, whichever you feel is better. We're going to save it to the desktop. Click on save. And now that it's saved, we can go ahead and close this out. We can go ahead and open up another tab here. And I'm just going to drag this from a desktop on into here. And let's see if it works. And that's it. That's a couple of ways in which you can embed the video onto your blog or web page. Now there's one other cool place I'd like to point out to you, and it's called bmeyers.com/public/1263.cfm. Now if you head on over to Bill's website, and this has been around for quite a while, so it's not like it's going to go away anytime soon, but if you wanted to, what you could do is simply take your video page or S3 URL, like the one I just copied, and replace that one on here. Well, let me just show you again. This one here or this one here, either way, if you were to right click and get that URL and then come on over here to Bill's site and put that in here, I think I can get away with that. Yes. And then the display width, if it's going on a blog, you might want to make it smaller, totally up to you. Put in the display height. Now I do want to say though that if the video is say 640 by 480, which is typical, you want to make it, give it a little bit more size, 645 by 485, because the extra 5 pixels will allow for additional space for, say, the player to show up, for any kind of a border or anything like that to show up. Again, it just works out better. And then restrict to domain. Now this is the cool part. The domain you're going to be placing your video on, put that in here. And that way, if anybody tries to download or hot link or basically steal that video from that web page, it will not play. Plain and simple. The only way that video will play is if it is on the domain that you put in here. It's that simple. And if you put in here the URL this script will redirect to, that if you put, say for example, the same URL into here, then if somebody does try to play it on another URL, quite simply it'll bring them right on back to your site. So again, that's a great advertisement for you, for somebody else that's going to be trying to snag your stuff. So and then you just come on down here, and once you get all your T's crossed and I's dotted, click here to create protection script. The script pops in here. You just right click, select all, and then copy everything that's in there, and then paste that script wherever you want the video to show up. It's really quite that simple. And that's it. And again, that's at Bill Myers' site, bmyers.com/public/1263.cfm. And that's going to bring us to the end of this video on how to stream your S3 videos. Thank you very much for watching, and you have a great day. This will bring us to the end of Volume 1 in this video series on Amazon Web Services, also known as AWS, on S3. I hope you enjoyed the videos and, most importantly, learned from them as well. In the upcoming volumes, we're going to be covering additional Amazon Web Services. Thanks for watching, and in closing, here's a tribute to Bob Barker. Don't forget to spay and neuter your pets. Have a great day.